Hey guys, Brian, Victory 4x4, back working on Project 2 Hyundai Tundi. So when I bought this truck, its MSRP was somewhere around $52,000. And one of the things that drove me absolutely nuts right off the bat was you spend $52,000 on a Toyota Tundra Platinum and it comes with a pressed urethane steering wheel. Coming from a Raptor, I was pretty disappointed in the feel, the touch, the drive of this truck in general. That was just one more thing that was driving me nuts. So I was on the Tundra forum and I came across a post by a guy named Yanni10, and he was asking if you could put a Toyota Tacoma steering wheel into your Tundra. And the reason he asked that is, apparently you can spend $25,000 on a Tacoma and get a leather steering wheel. Interesting, Toyota. You're so weird about things. So anyways, found this. It's a junkyard Toyota. It's off of a 2016 Toyota Tacoma, and you can see it is a leather wrapped steering wheel. So one of the things for me, I live in Michigan, it's super cold here, and so in the winter, when you go and grab onto those urethane pressed steering wheels, they're cold as crap. They hurt your hands, it's annoying, and I imagine the guys that live out west probably have similar issues, but theirs are probably a little different. I'm guessing the urethane will start to get sticky over time as the heat sits on that wheel. So I figured this was a good upgrade. I spent $200 on eBay, shipped for this steering wheel, and as you can see, this is how it comes together, and it's a direct swap into your Toyota Tundra. So I'll show you guys how to swap this into your Tundra. So it's the first step you do before you touch anything on the steering wheel. You're going to want to disconnect your battery terminal, your negative battery terminal, get it up out of the way so it doesn't make contact with your battery, and then you're going to come inside and we're going to start digging in. So it's not that hard to swap this steering wheel out. You only need some pretty common basic tools, a flathead screwdriver, or if you happen to have trim removal tools, you can use those. You're going to want a large Phillips screwdriver, and then an extension with T25 Torx. This is what's actually gonna allow us to remove the airbag. And then a 19mm socket. That's gonna pull the steering wheel nut off and allow us to pull the steering wheel off from there. So let's get started. Okay, first step, we're gonna have to get to those torque bolts to get this airbag out. So what we're gonna be using is flathead screwdriver, or if you have a trim tool removal kit, you're gonna pry off this little guy right here. Come on. I'm out of there. Okay. So you're gonna pop that out. Now there's one on the other side. You're gonna take care of that one as well. This one on this side, if you come at it from the top, comes out way easier. Okay, so now with those plugs out, you can actually see that Torx bolt. There's one on each side. That's what's actually holding this airbag on. So with the T25 Torque, we're gonna go ahead and remove those from the airbag. Okay, so now we're back topside. We're ready to take the airbag out, and you might have to pry a little bit to get it out. This one came out pretty easy. As you can see, now the airbag is out. We have a couple of plugs to disconnect. I'll bring you over here and show you. So we have these two white ones here, and then we're going to be removing these two from here, and then the airbag will come off. So you want to make sure you take your time. Don't get crazy. Don't break any of these clips. And there's a negative ground right here. Come on, baby. Pop that off. Then pop these up. Pry them up gently like that. See it pop out, and then we can pull this airbag off here. Okay, airbag is off. Let's set this out of the way. All right, so now we have the airbag out of the way. I'm going to show you what we're going to be removing. I'm going to actually swap all these pieces out on a table next to the Tacoma wheel. But really all we want to get to is this 19mm bolt right here. We're going to loosen that guy off of here, and then we're going to pop the wheel off. We'll swap all the components out on the bench. The only thing that's connecting the steering wheel is this connector right here. So once you get everything unplugged from it, this will stay with the center console, or the steering column. And that 19mm socket I showed you earlier, it's going to go right on the nut on the steering wheel here. One thing you want to do is you're going to want to like press the opposite direction that you're pushing the ratchet, because you don't want to use the stop in the steering wheel to be your stop for your ratchet. So we're just going to turn it, see if it comes loose pretty easy, and then take the nut off. There's the nut. All right, now a lot of places will tell you that you want to use a steering wheel puller to pull this off, but I'm pretty sure I can get it off without. I'll show you guys how to do that. You're basically just going to sit yourself in the seat, 2 hands on the wheel, and you're just going to kind of pull and wiggle, and there's your steering wheel. Okay, so now we have our 2 steering wheels out of the truck, and Tacoma one. Now you'll notice the main differences in these 2 are going to be in the options that your truck package comes with, and the options that the truck package came with on the Tacoma. Okay, so now we're going to remove these 6 screws. Okay, so those are removed, and in the truck I unclipped these harnesses, but they're usually down in these little clips right here. So I unhooked them when I was trying to get to the nut, the steering wheel. So you're gonna pull those off. Now these guys just pop up, pop off, and we're gonna transfer those to the other steering wheel. Next thing you're gonna do, we're gonna take off the cruise control button, which is down here. Not sure if these are the same between the Tacoma and the Tundra. So I have the TSS cruise control option thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure I swap this one over to the new wheel. And then you just kind of pull that guy out of there. There's your cruise control switch. All right, so I have everything out of the Tacoma wheel. I have everything out of the Tundra wheel. I did notice that this is the cruise control knob that came out of the Tacoma. This is the cruise control switch that came out of my Tundra. So they are definitely different. So make sure you check those out before you just leave this in. All right, so considering this steering wheel came out of a junkyard, so it's probably in a wreck, you're gonna wanna inspect everything on the wheel before you actually commit to putting it in. For me, this plastic is a little scuffed up on the Tacoma wheel and it's not on my Tundra, so I'm gonna swap that out. There are 4 clips down here and then a couple of clips right here. And once you pop all those clips off, that removes, and you can swap on the one off your Tundra. Okay, so if you're gonna swap this back plastic off, one of the things you're gonna see is the airbag bolts. If you can see, they are right there and they're captured. Just make sure they didn't fall out, because this one fell out on this side. So I'm gonna put that back in before I put this all back together. Now Toyota has built-in catches, so if these airbag bolts ever came loose and they started to unthread, the airbag wouldn't actually fall out. So just make sure those are in. And easy peasy, now that's on there. Okay, now we're going to put together the guts of this thing. So using the correct cruise control stock that came out of your Tundra, I'm gonna start by putting that in first. You just want to get them tight. You don't want to go crazy, snap any plastic or anything. Okay. Now we're going to install these side buttons. All right, so as I'm putting this back together, I just happen to notice that I don't have the clips to actually hold the harness up here. If you come back to my Tundra wheel, you'll see there's a plastic bracket that has 2 screws in here. I'm going to need to transfer that over to this wheel before I put it together any further. Okay guys, one thing I didn't talk about when I took the wheel off was this is actually the clock spring for the truck. This is for your airbags and your horns and all your buttons and your switches. You do not want to rotate this thing at all while the wheel is off. So you want to make sure it stays in the same location that you took it off. So when you put it back in, it's all clocked in the right direction. So anyways, I'm going to feed the airbag lines through here, like so. And line up the nut and the spline, and press it back on. Okay, so you don't have to go crazy with that because we're going to be using the nut to tighten the wheel back down. All right, once again, you're going to want to use your hand to hold the wheel while you tighten it. There you go. Now we're going to clip the harness back underneath the little hooks here and here. We're going to plug back in the harness. So you got one clip harness in there. The rest of these are going to go to the airbag, and this one is your cruise control. Don't forget to put that one in. It clips in up there as well. Route your wire for that kind of out of the way. Grab your airbag. Don't forget the ground on the airbag. There. And the orange on the orange. Black on black. Push your clips down. Airbag is ready to reinstall. Set that in there. Kind of clicks into place. You'll feel your horn button working again. And we just have to put in the bolts that hold in the airbag now. All right, using that 25mm Torx, we're going to tighten the bolts into the airbag on both sides. Both sides. Watch your head. Or don't. Okay. Now we have to put our little clips back in. And the second clip. That's it. Now we have a leather wrapped steering wheel in our Tundra. Hook up your negative battery cable and you're good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, ask below. Otherwise, hope to see you on the trail.